Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to be walking you through how to win in a quote saturated market. And this is something that I've bumped into recently because I have run a cold email lead generation agency. I've done website development, I've done AI automation, I'm now selling inboxes, and I also have a massive lead database. And over the last 2 years of running these businesses, doing everything, I don't want to say figured out, but I've come up with a theory that I'm using that's currently working on how to win or how to beat competitors or incumbents in a market that are larger than yourself. And you go in and you're like, oh, like, how do I beat these guys? You don't need to beat them. You just need to be better than them in a very, very specific aspect of things. So let me jump into it. So we're looking at this here. So I run MTOS. This is my agency. I've had this like domain branding for the last 2 years, and everything has been under this umbrella. And just like a little bit of a story, right? At the beginning of my quote like entrepreneurial career, or at the beginning of my career in general, running businesses, I used to do it was AI automation, AUTO. And I used to do, then after that, that didn't work because I went in with some other people. That was a whole thing. And then I did websites afterwards. Websites. And then afterwards, I then did a cold email, which I still do here and there, but I'm having more fun doing like, quote like other things, right? Which is what I'm doing now. So when I was doing all of these three businesses in, let's say, the last 2 years, every single time I bumped into the issue of, oh, hey, this person does what you do. Why can't I do it cheaper? Like, why should I work with you? And you'd be crawling up a fucking hill to try and sell these guys on, oh, you should work with me. You should pay my retainer. And you were just doing outbound and cold outreach, and you were trying to make content, all this stuff, right? And it just dawned on me, and this isn't a realization I completely came to. Obviously, it took 2 years of trying to figure this out, of understanding the cold outbound game, that wow, this kind of sucks. It really is very annoying trying to sell people on something that you inherently know is good, but like they don't trust you because they're handing over cash to you. And it's very difficult to do that. So in all of these spaces, and I like the only space I can really name where there's like big people inside, because I've been in the space the longest, is cold email. And there's like Nick Abraham, there's Eric, there's Taylor Harron. There's a ton of these guys that are absolutely huge. And of course, there's other people that are smaller and are absolutely crushing it on the game as well. And what do they have that, let's say, all of us, I don't say normies, but like us people that are at the beginning of our career that we don't have? And they have trust. And that is the main aspect of everything. So if you can build trust, that's like the equation is just there. Like if you have trust, that's how you spell trust. God, I'm tweaking. Trust. And then this is honestly, I wouldn't even say 50%. This is like 90% of like people buying from you. And then I would say the offer as well holds a lot of merit. And I'll then leak this into like my current businesses and how I'm kind of doing this. So I would remember I was watching Hermosi, right? And he says rich people just want speed. They want it's like they want guaranteed results and they want speed. Like that's the main thing. If you get a haircut and somebody takes an hour and somebody takes 20 minutes, the person that does it for 20 minutes is pretty much guaranteed to get more business because first of all, they'll do it faster, they'll get more repetitions, all this stuff. They're probably better. Um, but at the same time, if you're rich, you don't want to sit there for an hour getting a haircut unless you specifically chalk that time and there's all this stuff. But like on a long enough time horizon, like the 20-minute person will get more business because he's just faster. Like I know on myself, like for me, it would be like I would go for the 20-minute person because I don't want to sit there for times three times the amount of time necessary to just go and get a haircut, which is the same outcome. So again, these guys have trust, which this basically equates to brand. And then of course this is the offer. So how I'm incorporating all of this right now within MTOS is two things. So within trust and brand, we're giving away millions of leads. So this has 15, we're actually up to about 20 to 21 million leads right now. And we've been scraping leads for quite literally I think it's like a month and a half, and we have about 20 million leads. And for Q1 of 2026, we have lots of different plans, of course. But when people see this, they, ooh, sorry, when people see this, they go through this site and they'll be like, oh, okay, so this is Google Maps leads. Okay, very cool. Okay, so we have plumbers, we have HVAC, we have tires, etc. And they'll go through and they'll just keep scrolling and they're like, wow, this is a lot. And this is doing two factors of the equation. The first one is brand. So I've been able to get myself known in the space because of doing this. That's the first thing. And when people see it, they'll then start coming back and then they'll equate some of this stuff to my brand because there's positive associations in there. The second thing is speed. So one of the issues, or like one of the like the offers that other people have, is if they're running a lead database, let's say Apollo. There's the initial barrier to entry is, first of all, I need you to come to my site. I need you to sign up, and I then need you to start filling out details and start filling out like, oh, this is the filter I want for this specific list. For this, you quite literally come to the site and you click download, and this might take a little bit to load, but you just click download. It'll bring you to a Google Drive file, and it's going to be a shame if this doesn't load. But we've literally had thousands of people come through the site now, and they just come through and they click it, and you can download it. And this equates, there's obviously the value thing, but then there's also speed. So the speed of, okay, I need a list right now as of this exact moment, that's speed. They're going to go through and they're going to get it like right there and right then. So it's a pretty like I'm trying to ingrain this because after doing this, I've realized like that people come to me and it's so much easier to have them like they just trust. They're like, hey, this person can deliver because they've given me speed in terms of value and everything. And then the second part of the equation is, uh, sorry, yeah. So these are the two parts of the equation, and now it's starting to load. But there's two parts of the equation. Of course, there's trust, and then there's the offer. This then leads into my email inboxes. So within the email inbox space, I have gone into a space that is extremely saturated. There's so many people selling inboxes because the margins are so high. It's disgusting. So like okay, let's say you sell like an inbox and I sell my inboxes for 70 like USD or whatever, and someone else sells the inboxes for 50 because they want to undercut the market and they want to play the game of, oh, I can undercut the market, I can take your customers, which is absolutely true. They can do that. But I then said to myself when I went into the space, like, what gap is there? What things do people need that require time? So with the inboxes, like from pretty much every vendor that you talk to or you work off, if they don't do pre-warm stuff, which is the avenue I'm in, if they don't do pre-warm stuff, it takes around 2 weeks to get stuff launched. With the pre-warmed inboxes that we have right now, this is like we can get launched within 24 hours. So people will come to me and they'll be like, hey, my infrastructure just went down. This domain just went down. I need to send for a client like right now. And like I will, well, I don't want to say I'll drop everything, but like I'll be like, okay, look, I understand you're in a crunch. I can get you set up like literally in 24 hours. We can get you sending. It's no problemo at all. And people obviously come to this and they're like, okay, here, I'm in a time crunch. So with this quote like competitive advantage or like this advantage that I've like carved out, I've given them the 2 weeks of notice that they usually would have to give for a campaign to warm up, where they would, let's say, shark off the cost. So like let's say someone's selling this for the 50 USD. They'll shark off the cost and be like, oh hey, it's 50, it's cheaper, I can do that. But if their entire campaign has gone down and you're sat there and you're like, oh, I need to get this launched within 24 hours. Who on the market is actually doing this? There's actually very few people on the market doing this. And the reason being is there's a barrier to entry to doing something like this because they have to go and they have to set up the inboxes and then they have to buy other softwares to warm up the inboxes and then they have to front the cost and they have to front the time. And that is what people are paying for. So like I'm able to get away with selling these inboxes for 100 USD, like for one like domain, which is 99 inboxes. And this gives me massive leverage within the market when it comes to, well, this in general. And what I'll propose is like, let's say, oh, let's come back here. Oh, getting frozen. Whoops. Love Myro. Myro is bugging out on me right now. But like, let's say you have, oh, let's say you do ads, right? Ads, right? And let's say you say to someone, okay, you get off the onboarding call and you're like, we're gonna get you set up within, I don't know, 5 days. I need to talk to the team. We need to get everything set out. We have to go back and forth on all this stuff. Like we have to set up your ad budget. We have to record your creatives, and there's all this stuff. And this takes, let's say, 5 days of just back and forth. And then, of course, then let's say there's the weekend. So like this then adds on like 2 days or something. And of course, you're doing your research, and like that's perfectly fine. This is normal, okay? I don't run an ads agency, so I say normal in the sense that like it takes time, not the sense that this is like it takes 7 days to get a campaign up. I highly doubt it takes 7 days to get a campaign up, but again, it's just a metaphorical story. But then you have, so this is ads agency one, and we have ads agency two, ads two, and then they're like, okay, you've just paid. What does your calendar look like today, tomorrow? Right? We're gonna sit down and we're gonna get this done within like 2 hours. I'm gonna ask you all the questions, and we're gonna get you launched within 2 days. Right? So let's say they're like, okay, they're now looking at two competitors, and one of them is the same price, or like let's say they both charge like 3,000 USD, whatever. And one of them takes 7 days, and one of them takes 2 days. Now it goes down to different aspects. Of course, now you have like social proof. Like if the person that has more time delivers better results, it's like, okay, the person with 7 days, maybe we'll probably just go with them. But if they are blanket, like if they are blanket companies that don't have any, like they don't have any case studies, and you're on the same sales call and it's the same person, and you're selling two different offers, the one with 2 days will always, like it will convert higher, because people are like, oh, you can get launched in 2 days. You must have a team, you must have automation, you must be established, you must have the structure, and you must have the ops, everything set up on the back end to make this happen. And it's just a realization I've had. Like with email, it's like, let's say I'm gonna do this again, right? Just to kind of like hammer it home. So we have cold email, right? And oh, that's not usual cold. Email. So one of the things, like avenues with cold email. So this is actually a little thing I had, right? So with cold email, people, when they sign someone on, they would always say, "Hey, there was this two, like we need to wait 2 weeks before we launch campaigns, because we, like, again, you have to wait 2 weeks to let the inboxes warm up." But I got so tired of hearing this after getting on so many sales calls for cold email. They'd be like, also, like, when can we get started? And I'm like, 2 weeks, we'll start sending. I'm like, bro. And then they're like, oh, like 2 weeks? That's kind of a long time, man. But I then was like, okay, screw it. We're not going to do that. Cold email, right? But I say to them, we'll get you started in, whoa, that's not right. 3 days. And the way I did this is I basically did what I'm doing now, pre-warmed, and I just say to them, I get this question a ton. I completely get it. What we do is we'll buy a ton of, like, we'll set up a ton of domains for you guys, for like we'll get them started in 2 weeks, but we can actually get you sending within 3 days, if you sign on right now, because we get this question so much that we're able to set up like infrastructure on the back end that everybody's able to use, and we can just get you started. So we can start like getting feedback, results, and data. So by the time we launch your campaign in 2 weeks, we'll have results and data back on working campaigns, and we can just like slam it home, and we can just keep going. And this thing here was amazing. It completely murdered this objection without a shadow of a doubt. People would come in and be like, "Oh yeah, okay, like how do we get started? Like this or this? I don't know where I'm pointing. That I don't know. I don't know. I think it's probably here somewhere. I don't know. Um, but this, like, if you can find a way to just make stuff faster, you will convert so many more people. It's actually very, very, like, it's so interesting to watch and to see happen. When people's eyes are like, oh, this person said 7 days, this person said 2 weeks, this person said 3 days, and then you're like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll just go with the guy that's faster. Again, if all else stays the same. So yeah, this is just a quick video on the, it's just how to win in a saturated market, like quote saturated, like there's money to be made, but it's just how do you win in a market like this when everything is so reliant on, like the market, there's so many cold email agencies because the barrier to entry is figuratively zero right now. But I'm starting to notice that people that vertically integrate are gaining a competitive advantage. So it's just super interesting to see. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want free leads, we have a ton on the site here. So link will be in the description below. Otherwise, see you now.